Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. I'm going to jump right into it, and I want to start with an event that is taking place this weekend in Pittsfield at Anoda Lake. It is, which is Saturday, June 4th. It's the 30th annual Harry Bateman Jimmy Fund Fishing Derby, and it's a big event. This year they're really pushing it because, you know, during the craziness we just went through, they weren't able to have this the past year or so, maybe 2 years, but definitely the past year. And it's going to be a huge family event, as always, but a really big one this year. 15 trophies and prizes, categories, 8 categories for the kids, separate categories for adults, and then there's combination categories, food vendors, giveaways, raffles, all sorts of prizes. A big, huge event. And it is this Saturday, 6 a.m. to 12 p.m., at the Frank Controy Pavilion, so plenty of parking right there. This weekend is also in Massachusetts a free fishing weekend, so you don't need a fishing license or anything. Just grab the kids, bring the family down. It's $10 for adults, $5 for kids. 14 years and younger is what children are considered. So, great event, a few bucks to participate, and it's for a great thing. The whole thing is for a great cause and a great event, and it's so much fun to see families out doing things like this. We need more things like this in the area. You see the families out with the kids and they're fishing, and it's just such a positive event. So I'm a big supporter of that. My father, this one he won't be able to attend, but my father knew Harry very well, and my father was the fisheries manager for Western Mass for 40 plus years. And anyway, this will be the first year that he won't be around. He passed away a couple months ago. But he was a big supporter of this also. So, again, if you're not doing anything, this Saturday, 6 a.m. at the Frank Controy Pavilion, Anoda Lake. Weather should be good. Great event. So, head down, check it out. School resource officers. Something I mentioned in the last video. And I want to touch on that because these tragedies we're seeing all over the country, and at a increasing pace, the distance between each one is getting shorter, and the outcomes are becoming more and more horrific. So we mentioned, SROs is something I've been discussing. I did rallies last year, really was pushing for this. I don't think it's going to happen. I think the school department doesn't sound like they're for it, and that might be final. I don't care what you call it. Do away with the SROs then. But I find it incredibly irresponsible to have a public building with that many children in it, in a community like ours, regardless of what we're seeing on a national level, which is tons of tragedies, including the one we just recently, now another one. And knowing we have the gun violence we have in our city, that's a whole nother issue in itself. And knowing that a lot of that gun violence is in the youth. One of the kids recently busted, as many of you have seen, was 16. I can't believe we don't have an officer. Put a police officer in the school. If you don't want to call them a resource officer and you don't want them interacting with children, fine. Stick them in the office and they just sit there all day. And they're there just like for the same reason you have a fire extinguisher in your kitchen. You're not hoping the kitchen catches on fire, but in the event it does, you've got a fire extinguisher there. You put them there at the school. Why would you have a public building with hundreds or thousands of children in it and not have security? You would never see that at a mall. You'd never see that. You'd never see a court without bailiffs. You wouldn't go to Tanglewood and not see police or security there. I think they even have security at the movie theater. Why would you want to put children in an environment, a public environment with that many of them, with the knowing that there is a risk? There's a risk everywhere, nationwide. I just find that asinine that that's even an argument. Find a way to do it. And if we don't have the officers on our department, because we have less officers now than we did under the former mayor. I don't know, private security, something. Look at other options. But that's just ridiculous that you don't have a trained professional there. Ridiculous. Debate the SRO conversation at another time or eliminate it, whatever. But have an officer there, on scene, someone who can respond within seconds, because every second counts in a horrific incident. So anyway, I had to bring that up. Another thing I want to talk about then is budget hearings. So we're in the budget hearings. Look, it's all going to pass. The mayor has the support on the council she needs. And also to Mayor Tyre, who I disagree with on a lot politically. Not a fan of hers politically, but we were notified that she did test positive for COVID. I hope it is not serious. I hope she's doing okay. I know that's got to be scary. I've had friends that have gotten it and it was mild, and I've had friends that have gotten it that were vaccinated and it did a number on them. So in all seriousness, I hope a quick recovery and she's back up and going and healthy in no time. And I do mean that seriously. So, but anyway, back to the budget hearings. We're seeing some of the largest increases, if not the largest increases we have ever seen in the city's history. And I hope that this administration and the majority of this city council that supports this knows what they're doing. Because, man, are we spending some money. A lot of it. And the ARPA funds, spending a lot of that too on, I hope, the right things. I hope $250,000 to the Berkshire Museum was a smart investment for the community, because you're looking at now closer to 70% of global economists predicting bad things on the horizon. There are some optimists out there, but the majority is not that way. And look what we're seeing in fuel costs. And I went back and I looked at videos and some of the same people that like to critique me on everything. I said, look, talk on the world stage months ago was OPEC is going to drive oil up to 120 to 130 a barrel. It's coming. It's coming. Yesterday it closed out at 115. Even if it drops today, you're not going to see it, I wouldn't imagine, go below 110. And then I think we're going to work our way back to 120 to 130 a barrel. I think that's going to happen. That's serious. That's going to translate to 5+ at the pump. It's not good. Not good at all. And we're seeing talks of a possible steep recession. Are we spending all this money correctly? When you have all this money we're spending, like in the school department, but then you have the paraprofessionals in the school department that don't even have a contract. But we're creating new administrative positions. Teachers that we're fighting to get a competitive wage with the rest of the county so they could stop losing teachers. I mean, the struggle, are we putting the money in the right places and thinking about what's coming down the road potentially? You hope so, because if we do, then all the counselors who support this mayor and have continually supported this mayor, then they're right and we're on a good path. And I guess that's where we're at. But people should really pay attention, because we're seeing increases in the city budget like we've never seen before. And look, it's not a negative thing to critique, okay? It's not cool, I'll say, to be an AH just to be one on social media or whatever, just say negative things just to say them. But to critique, especially during budget hearings or anything, there's nothing. Look, I talked to Peter Marchetti about this during my interview with him before we recorded. I always do conversations with everyone. And I said, Peter, look, this is not personal. I look at it this way. Look at the hardcore fans of, say, the Red Sox. If there's a pitcher throwing the game and you want him out of there, there's fans I've seen get up and scream at their TVs. It's not like a personal attack on that individual. They're fighting for the team. Our city councilor, let's not forget the city councilors. These are people who had signs made up with their names on them. Vote for me. Knocked on your doors. Sign my petition. Support me. I'm the one for the job. They begged for this. It's one of the few professions you beg for that job, literally. And then to get there, and some of our counselors, Pete White, I'm not picking on him, maybe he thinks I am, he has a tendency of pulling almost like the victim card about how hard their job is and this isn't easy, and you asked for it. You begged for that job. Part of the job is you get critiqued from the people in the stand that put you there because it's their team too. You're just a player on it. And that's what it is. It's not personal attacks. And I get so sick and tired of hearing these counselors talk. Sometimes, some of them, and again, sometimes with Pete, sometimes with Earl, I'm waiting for a Sarah McLachlan song to start playing, and I want to know where I can send my 60 cents a day, to sponsor a city councilor because it's so tough. And it's just ridiculous at times. Being critiqued is part of it. Personally attacking them, I don't do that, and I don't support anybody who does. I think that's doesn't add anything to the conversation. But anyway, that's it for now. I just wanted to throw that out there. Pay attention to the budget hearings. We're spending a lot of money this year. Like I said, the largest increases in the city's history. So pay attention and hope that we are spending the right way, and hope that what's coming down the pipeline for the whole country, for the whole world, is not what some think it is. So all right, that's it for now. Great weekend weather-wise. Again, 6 a.m., Frank Controy Pavilion, the Harry Bateman Jimmy Fund Memorial Fishing Derby. It's a free fishing weekend. Bring the family, bring the kids. Head down. There's food vendors. There's giveaways. There's prizes. It's going to be a great time. And I'll be down there doing some interviews and pictures and all that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So, all right, that is it for now. I'll have another video up in the next day or two. So everyone, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Enjoy the weather. Take care of yourselves. Get better, Mayor Tire. And I'll catch y'all in the next day or two.